What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast, Social Cues for Dummies. I am your host, Steve. In this series, we are going to talk about the uncomfortable topics that no one likes talking about, whether it be about reading the room, shower thoughts, or just straight conversations you like to talk to your close friends, but never say it publicly. This is a safe space for people who feel dumb or weird talking about it. We are going to avoid topics when it comes to controversial, political, or anything else that could potentially get me in trouble. I do want to say that all these topics I'll be talking are all mostly through personal experiences and my own opinion. You are more than welcome to agree or disagree with me. Remember that this is for dummies. That's myself included. Guys, guys, what's up? We're reviving this bad boy up. This is one whole year I have not done this project. I kind of put it in the back burner. I said I was going to come back every single time, and here I am. And we're going to change things up a little bit. I feel like doing Spotify, it's great and all. But I want to make it a step forward and a little bit more commitment, so it makes me more motivated. So we're going to try a video podcast for the first time. We're going to try to make a YouTube. So I'm streaming this right now on Twitch. My tag is twitch.tv/crushy. We're going to start making a YouTube channel for Social Cues for Dummies. Hopefully I stay committed to this. But it made me kind of, well, before I talk about why I wanted to do this again, what I'm going to talk to you about today is, learning social cues in high school, because I think high school is very important. It's very interesting. I just did a 10-year reunion. We'll talk about that later. And we're going to talk about dealing with tense situations. And I'm going to talk about that later. But I hope you guys enjoy the episode. All right, welcome back to episode. This is episode 9, okay, and we talk about high school and tense situations. Man, this is gonna be a little difficult for me. I usually do an audio tracker or an audio software, and I do multiple takes. So this will be my first one take recording. Hopefully, I don't mess it up, and hopefully, this is actually gonna be one take, and I don't have to re-record everything well. This is whatever I say. If I mess up or stutter, it's gonna be aired. Fuck it. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to do this podcast again was because I did a 10-year high school reunion just the past weekend, and it was incredible. I saw past friends I haven't seen in a while, past people that I forgot that I was really close with. I know that's kind of shallow, but you kind of live with your life. It's been 10 whole years. This is like a 10-year reunion. A high school reunion is something that you talk to your friends about, and you're like, oh, are you going to the reunion? You talk about it, but you never actually ever do it. And I was able to do it. Shout out to the people that the ASB group, our high school ASB group, that was able to get it together. It was I never would imagine drinking with them, and just it was a good time, man. I saw people go through life differently, and I dealt with I swear 80% of those people were like either married or had kids, and here I am streaming and making podcasts. But man, life goes different, and I don't feel bad, and I'm super incredibly happy for all of them. Yeah, I just there was a couple people who actually mentioned my podcast because they saw on Instagram or or any other social media, and they're like, "Hey, are you still doing podcasts? Hey, where's the podcast at?" I'm like, "Damn, that made an impact." I was, I just kind of did it for the shits and giggles. The reason why I kind of stopped doing it because it was a big commitment, and when I was recording it, I was falling asleep, and it was late at night. I don't know. Like it was just a really big commitment. And I didn't want to commit every week or every other week. Um, and I had stuff to talk about. It gets really awkward. I talked about this before. Sometimes it gets really awkward talking to yourself and recording yourself, especially having like a conversation of like yourself and just like venting rather than having a podcast with two people and or three people or a group of people where they could literally have a very non-awkward flow of conversation, where I just had to keep talking essentially, and I don't know if I'm talking too fast or too slow. I got to figure out my gaps, if I'm not talking at all, if it's too awkward, or if I just keep on going on and on, because like I'm a regular human, I gotta take breaks speaking words. So I had to learn that if I do want to commit to this. But like I said, this is still for fun regardless. I'm not looking to gain anything from this, but let's talk about my high school reunion, man. And let's why am I talking about this in social cues for dummies? We're talking about social cues here, Steve. Well, I mean, for me personally, and I'm not saying I'm the guru of social cues by all means. As you see the name, it's social cues for dummies. But what I am saying is that I do have the understanding, and it's from a lot of trial and error, I would say for sure. Learning people skills and interacting with people, whether it's through work or through personal life. I've talked to many people and their way of life and how they say their words and what they mean by them and things like that. I like picking people's brains, and I get close to people really fast, and I just love people, man. I love interacting with people a lot, and I think I find thrill meeting new people I really vibe with, or any aspects of life very different from mine. I just like hearing about people because I'm not a bookworm whatsoever. Educationally, I always struggle in school because I get distracted very easily, and even in high school, man, like I just was not a person. Like I only had good grades in my freshman year, to be honest with you. After that, it was really struggle. I was kind of the kid who said obnoxious stuff at class. I was the quote unquote class clown, nominated by the way. But I was like teachers, like they always gave me the love-hate relationship. They'd always give me that tough love because they knew I was a good kid, but just bad intentions, and said some stuff that I shouldn't have for sure. But I in high school, I'm just trying to. I guess I was just trying to make some noise, make as much noise as possible. Middle school, I kind of was a kid who was super different from anyone, whether it was my culture, and I talked about this before. And I was just a weird fucking kid. Like, I'm still a weird kid, but I was a lot more antisocial, a lot more like, I was kind of like, realistically, I was the loser in middle school. You kind of learn that, people are being cool with you to either tease you or actually like they're either laughing with you or against you or laughing at you, right? And I knew all in middle school I was getting laughed at. And even though like I just hung out with the popular kids, but they'd only have me around to tease me and shit like that. It's whatever. It's fucking middle school. Fuck them. But in high school, I moved to a whole different spot, and I was a new kid in block, so I really didn't have any friends freshman year, and I don't know exactly how or what happened, but at the end of 8th grade, I got really into breakdancing or b-boying. I never was able to do it. I was just into it. Let's clarify that. I didn't have any upper body strength to actually do real moves, but I still really like trying to do it. So I went to the hip hop club in high school, and in freshman year, since I was a new kid and didn't really have friends, I joined the high school, the hip hop club, and I basically sat at the table with the senior kids, the senior hip hop kids, and I was like the little son that they wanted to like protect, because I was so inexperienced with the world, and just like a little shitter that they wanted to protect pretty much. So I was in my own little bubble, and I didn't really have much friends in my own grade, not for a while. Freshman year, because I was such a nobody in middle school, I didn't want that anymore. I wanted attention. I starved the attention. So I did anything and everything in my own power to be the loudest in the class, with the most strangest shit, just to have attention, whether it was like good or bad publicity. It was good publicity for me, because I wanted to be known. Like I wanted to. So like freshman year, I was kind of known as like the loud weird kid. Come sophomore year, I got into like it's called an academy, but it's basically where like you're in the same class with the same people in that academy. So I got a lot closer with those certain people. That's what my high school offered. So I got really close with them, and then I kind of got cool with the wrong crowd there. Kind of bad influence. Didn't really do them. I ditched class a couple of times sophomore year. Like I just felt like a really like terrible kid at that time. Yeah, it was. I didn't hang out with the ideal person or people on my sophomore year. Come junior year, I'm starting to get a little bit more friendly with the people and started getting my name around there. I would say people started knowing me junior, senior year. I started hanging out with like a different round of groups. I wasn't popular, but I was well known, I guess. So it was really cool, man. I still was still the loud kid every year. You know, I just like talking a lot and like making noise. Um, they chanted my name stupidly. I just really, really liked attention. And I was kind of a people pleaser because of high school, I would say for sure. And high school was one of the most, I guess, because I was so innocent back then. Still a little bit am, but definitely dealt with stuff more. Um, it was definitely a really good time in my life, and I definitely underlooked it. But I was kind of like, once I finished my high school, I was like, damn, like, is this it for me? College was, I knew I wasn't gonna like college, which I didn't. I wasn't really into that college life, the party life, and then like drinking. I drank actually pretty late. Like I drank when I was 21, but like didn't really drink. And then like I don't know, I just wasn't really into that scene that much, and I was like, fuck, man, like college. Well, I went to community school, community college too, so didn't really have the coolest college experience. So high school was like my biggest. Because I hung out with my high school friends ever since like, man, I would say maybe 4 to 5 years after graduation. So hung out with all of them, with a lot of them, and man, I gotta tell you, like, it was a really good time because even though I was that people pleaser, like that was like I was like so ignorant and so happy, like ignorance and bliss, man. It was awesome. I was just like the hype man of the crowd, and going back to this 10-year reunion, I'm a very sentimental ass dude, so like it was a good ass time, man. Um, you know, I kind of learned that you don't have to try to impress every single person. Because I was that kid in high school. I wanted everyone to like me, even though I knew that wasn't plausible. Sure, I was getting teased on, but it was like different. It was like, that's why, when people are like, do you care when you get teased on? Because I am a guy that gets teased on. Everyone that knows me, I get teased on a lot, sure. But do I sign up for it? Yeah, of course I do. I'm loud. I shit talk. I banter a lot with people. I get really comfortable really quickly with people. So yes, I get teased on a lot. So, setting boundaries for that, I didn't really learn till later. But I mean, like, it was a different type of getting teased on than getting picked on or like genuinely bullied when I was like in middle school, man. Like, even though like it was ha ha, like they still loved me, like they still adored me, and that's when I kind of know the difference of it, and I kind of learned that, just because, and I think I talked about this in the prior episodes too, just because someone like kind of disrespects you or teases you, of course there is a fine line, and of course you need to set some boundaries. Like, you, there's some certain stuff that you can be sensitive, and that's kind of the battle you have to fight between the social dynamic, especially towards a friend, because like, what if they get too comfortable with you, shit happens all the time, like, especially for me, man. Like, I get comfortable really quickly with people. And I kind of have to know that fine line of like, hey, this isn't cool, or like, haha, I could joke around too. I'm still trying to work it out, but I'm getting a lot better in it for sure. But high school, I fucking did not care. As long as you loved me, you could tease me all you want. I know that like it's genuinely sad, but like, these guys, like, actually, I was felt so much love in high school, and I was kind of like pampered a little bit, you know. Um, it was a really good feeling, and you know, high school was a big thing for me. And when I got into sales, it kind of drive me up because I just love interacting with people. How I got my sales in the very beginning of like my sales careers was just because I was really excited, really enthusiastic, and I love people, and people knew that about me. I was really genuine, like, I never had a sales persona when I talked to these people, and that's why I was good at it, because I was like their homie trying to help them out, and that's how I always like treated people, like, and that's why I was so convincing, because I was so relatable. I was like, man, if this person could do it, if Steve could do it, I could for sure do it. If Steve could do this, I could do that. And I was like, that's why I was so like so liked, because I was so like, people could relate to me the most. And that's why that's why I kind of got into sales. And people know what sales is like, twisty arms and like Wolf of Wall Street type of work, which, yes, like, those are definitely sales skills that like, that confidence is for sure something very needed, but that's not all it's about. Like, there is a huge stigma behind sales in general. I know this was not part of the episode, like, where salespeople are kind of like assholes or manipulative, or like, kind of like evil people, because they know how to convince people. Well, I mean, people are convinced in either way, right? People love buying shit, but people hate being sold to, because people don't want to get manipulated. But on the fine line is like, I just like, if I really like this product, you should like it too, and that's my whole thing. I could tell you how much I love this thing, and you'll love it with me, whether it's a person or a thing, or what. And that's kind of my go-to. I've been doing this for a long time, and after high school, I was kind of worried, man. Like, I was like, fuck. Am I one of those kids that peak in high school? I don't want to be that kid that peaks in high school, man. I don't want to be that guy. And that's why I was scared for the whole time. What do I do? So I did a lot of things, and um, to see what kind of hobbies I would like, and I kind of like a lot of things. I know that doesn't make sense, but I try different things, and I think that's what I like doing. It's just different things, learning different things. I'm a hands-on learner, so um, and after high school, I got really into or actually, because of senior year, I got really into poetry, or spoken word, because I was in the hip hop club, and that was kind of part of hip hop, because it branched off from MCing. Was either you're rapping, and I have no sense of rhythm. I fucking can't rap for shit, or I write from time to time. I did a little writing, a little time to time. I'm not saying I got bars, but or spoken word, right? Um, and I got really into that. Um, but it was kind of like a dual blade because I feel like the only time I could actually think or write something is if I'm really sad about something or like a really sad situation that happened. So like fuck, like that's kind of like a like I don't want to be sad to do this hobby, like it's tough. And then during COVID, podcasting, like listening to podcasts was a huge trend. So it's like fuck it, might as well make a podcast. I started streaming too. I was like fuck it, might as well do both. And met a number of people from streaming and that hobby. Most like 95% of the people that I hang out now are because of streaming, which is cool, man. It's really cool. Um, that's why high school was like so big for me because everything started from high school. I got that confidence from high school. I learned how to like not be too much of a people pleaser of high school, and you know I was just like how am I gonna forget these guys? How am I gonna forgive these guys? Or like forget, not forgive, but forget. Like I just had such an amazing time. Like I was like so heartbroken when I graduated because like I was like I already know I'm gonna miss these guys, and I love these guys to death, and everyone goes on their own ways, for sure. Um, and I'm glad that they were doing well. They had their own lives going on. Got kids now. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. They married. They're not even in the area anymore. Some of them. Some are in the East Coast, man. They don't even live in Cali anymore. They don't even live in the Bay anymore, man. I'm so happy, man. I'm just I was so overwhelmed by because I didn't, when I went to the reunion, I didn't know who was going, and that's what I preferred, to not know who the fuck was going, to kind of surprise me. Like there were some people that I got really cool with in the reunion that I'd never even interacted. I think that was fucking awesome. Um, you know, so I'm glad. I'm glad that they're doing well. I'm glad that I got to get the chance to talk to him again. I'm just glad, man. And then yeah, I really had a good time. And my next topic, I usually, when it comes to my episodes, I usually talk. My next topic was talking about dealing with kind of tense situations, things like that too. And the only reason why is because you kind of go through these trials and tribulations with friends, and sometimes you don't always agree with friends, of course, right? You're fucking human beings. You're different individuals. um how do you respond to that? And I'm talking more so in like a third party aspect where you're not part of it, but you are kind of part of it. Where it's like, you know, tense situations, and I won't go any more in depth of it, but like, how do I deal with that, or how would you deal with that? So back to early in my childhood, I would say. um, and I've always had a method, and it was a life method that I always had in my head that I never. This is gonna be the first time I actually talk about it, but that I made to kind of, I guess, help a situation out where things are getting tense or something like that. And it's called the corn dog method. And it's like, why the fudge is it called the corn dog method, Steve? Well, let me tell you. Um, back in the day, back in the pre high school, elementary school day, there was a time where um, we were in a family gathering with cousins, and this is a story that I'll always remember. I don't know why, but this kind of like explains a lot of why I do things. Um, back in the day, in my childhood, there was two cousins. My two cousins are arguing. I swear to you, this is not a made up story. It's really fucking random, and it's like so me. But they're arguing and they're going back and forth. I forgot for what. I think it's because we're playing a video game and we didn't share the controller or some dumb thing like that, right? But it got really damn tense, right? And I was eating a corn dog in a stick. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was like the refrigerator or freezer brand. All you do is microwave that bad boy and boom, it tastes like bomb. Tastes like heaven, right? Those corn dog sticks were freaking match made in heaven. Anyways, um, so I had that corn dog in a stick. I was like, fuck, what do I do? I don't know how to break these guys up. So what I did was, so how it works is okay, it's a fucking corn dog in a stick, right? So what I did is I took the corn dog and I basically ripped the corn dog from the stick, but like they didn't see that yet. It was still in the stick, but it wasn't like sticky on, like attached to the stick anymore. So you could take it out anytime. So when they were arguing, I was like, "Stop! You guys better stop!" Right? You guys better stop! Right? And I did that, and what happened was that corn dog on my stick basically flew on the other side of the wall and hit the wall, or hit in the other side of the room and hit the wall, and everyone just stopped what they were doing and just looked at the damn corn dog hit the wall, and everyone started laughing, and we're all cool again. It was like such a random thing to do that I did, but I was thinking on my feet, and I was like, huh. I didn't really think about why I did things, but that was a big reason why. And the reason why it's called corn dog method, and what that means is it helps you ruin the now. As in, it's such a random thing to do. It doesn't have to be funny, but just the most random, unorthodox thing to do. And just ruining the now. So, I mean, you could use that in a lot of situations, right? But it just ruins kind of like the equilibrium. I don't fucking know the science of it, but I'm just trying to act smart right now. I'm not really that smart, but it just, like, everyone stops what they're doing, and I like, that's kind of how I live my life now. Like, I'm obviously, I would say goofy for sure, but like, a lot of times where like I would play doing this really dumb thing or ridiculous thing, just kind of like ruining the moment. Whether it's a tense situation or a weird situation or bad situation or whatever it is. The corn dog method. Think of that. I don't know. That's kind of how I live my life because, I felt like I had nothing other to offer, right? Except being goofy or being me or whatever. So I was like, fuck, I gotta use me as an advantage. But I mean, like, what does everyone do? Like, I think it's really tough for sure. When you're in a situation where, in a very tense situation between people you care about or whatever it is, I think it's like how do you not choose sides at the same time? And I talked about this episode before, being like the middleman of a situation. But shit, you could even be like one of the main targets. Like, you could be arguing with someone or some like bad juju with someone, and it was still kind of apply. Like, how do you fix that? So my answer was to kind of make people forget about the shitty reason why people were mad at the first place. I remember there's other dumb things in life, and like a corn dog hitting a wall. Life is short for sure, and no matter what you feel that person is in the wrong, I know you guys could get past it. I know it. I know that no matter how much you guys argue, like, I don't know, for me it's really tough being spiteful, and I kind of sub that spitefulness into pettiness, but sometimes pettiness could also be a bad weapon too, right? It really depends on like how petty you are. Um, it depends how bad the situation is, for sure. But like really think of why you guys were mad in the first place. Is it worth ruining that bridge? Is it worth burning bridges, man? Like, I've learned now that burning bridges, no matter what life you are, like even if you are that type of person now, that like you're totally okay of letting go of people, which is totally fine. If you want to keep your circle small, that's totally fine. I'm not saying expand your circle by any means. That is not what I mean. I'm talking about not being so spiteful, or not learning how to burn that bridge. You could let go and still hey man, like best of luck to your life, but maybe our dynamic wasn't good enough. That's totally fine. You don't even have to literally say that to them, but you say that to yourself. Because no matter what, how much spite you have for that person, or how much resentment you have because that situation wasn't resolved, like fuck that person. Like realistically, like how's that gonna deal with you? That's just gonna be in your head rent free. That person is gonna be in your head rent free. You gotta think about the situation. What's going on? I kind of learned also, because I'm still learning, just like everyone else. I'm still learning how to interact with people correctly. How, I've been dealing with sometimes, if it's like a loss of a friendship or a dynamic of a person because of association or whatever. Like, how do I not be cool with this person, but be cool with this person? How do I be cordial with this person? If this person is gonna act like they're really cool with me, but at the end of the day, like really not F with me, like how do I deal with those type of people? If they like me through association only, or dislike me through association, well, I mean, you could be the bigger person first thing, right? Sometimes I gotta learn how to do that. For sure, I'm petty. Sometimes I try to be funny when in inappropriate manners. And that's kind of my coping method, right? Because I'm not spiteful, so I switched that spitefulness to pettiness to make it funny and make it humorous, right? But it's if that thing is bugging you so damn much, the best you could have thing to do, because people are gonna advise you to talk to that person, make up with that person. Sure. Ideally, maybe yes, maybe no. But at least talk to yourself. Like, have a conversation with yourself. Why am I so upset with this person? Okay, because of this, because of that. Once you have a conversation with yourself, people want closure. I'm telling you, people want closure all the time, but it's like not plausible. Realistically, closure is not plausible with the person that you are beefing with or whatever. It's just not. Even in a romantic relationship, like sometimes it's just not plausible, because we're like, it's two different human beings, and some people just don't know how to interact. Either it's both sides or one side of the party don't know how to interact, where it's a non-bashful way, as in like you're not discrediting, or you are going to discredit what the other person says. So at the very least, one thing you could do, just have a conversation of yourself. Why are you upset with this person? Why am I mad with this person? You don't even have to have the talk with the dude, with the girl, with the person, with the dog, whatever. Just have a conversation with yourself. Last year I was dealing with a really tough situation, I would say, when it comes to my friend dynamics, and I switched a lot of my friend dynamics. But dude, like it was in my head, like rent free. I was like, I know this person's not gonna see eye to eye to me, and I'm not gonna see eye to eye with this person. Not agree whatsoever. So what am I gonna do? And it was really bugging me. Like it really, really fucked with me. And I'm not gonna lie. I think I was always really nervous to publicly say this because since I was a child, I was deemed as the weak individual. But now I don't really care. Like, I sought professional help. I did. I said there was a lot of situations that I was considering it, but I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be a fucking weakling if I'm soft, things like that. Maybe I should have an episode about professional help, but I was like, damn, it's like I really didn't want to do it, but then when I did it, the person, I didn't know if the person was a good therapist. I'm gonna be honest with you, because all it was really doing, he was just asking why in a bunch of things I said. He just asked why. I said, okay, I'm having an issue with this person. Why? Well, because of this. Okay, why? And I just had a conversation with myself and was just breaking it down with myself. Had time to break it down, and I was able to let go interacting with the person or not. I was lucky to have an interaction with the person. But some people aren't. Some people aren't so lucky. There's stubborn people out there, including myself, that just don't want to talk. That's okay. That's completely okay. I just want to make sure that you're good. I want to make sure that it is not rent-free in your head, because that shit is going to fuck with you. And that's what I mean by tense situations. There's going to be a lot of people out there that, you have 1 million narrations for about you to people. Shit, I could be a really good dude to someone's eyes and a really shitty dude. I could be a really funny dude to one person's eyes and a not funny guy. Those people are wrong. Anyways, I'm just kidding. You have a million of narrations of yourself, perspectives of yourself to hundreds of people that you meet. But the most important, of course, this guy, the person, not me, but the person, you are the self, right? You're the most important person to depict yourself. What are you? You're a good person? For sure. That's, I think, if people could really see and ask the question why, because people often avoid that question. It's not an easy question to ask sometimes. Like in fucking English class, bro, I fucking hate it. When you fucking have to do a paragraph fucking answer for things, that's exactly what it is. I fucking don't want, I do a fucking one-word answer and call it good. But now we gotta ask why on situations. People hate that. I hate that. But sometimes it's needed for you. Not for the other person, but for you. Of course, if you care about the person, of course you will care about their feelings. I'm not saying disregard their feelings by any means. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying care about your feelings. That is most important. You are important. But yes, the corn dog theory. That's kind of how I live my life in a lot of situations where, doing the most unorthodox things just to kind of ruin the now moments and like make people like, fuck, like why was I mad at first place? It, like shocks them. The corn dog method, man. That shit has saved me. And saved friendships. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Maybe it's not the most ideal way, but hey, it's my way. But I thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I actually don't even know how long this episode is, but this is gonna be my first time doing a video recording. Hey, what's up, everyone? So yeah, I'm really excited to publish this. Now I had to fucking make a whole channel of social cues for dummies and try to figure that out. YouTube is a beast that I barely touch. I literally have like some clips on it and that's it. So it's gonna be another beast that I haven't touched. I'm gonna try to make this a Spotify too. I don't even know how to cut from the very beginning. I'll figure it all out. Fuck it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys all. Corn dog method, high school, love yourself. Fuck it. Fuck it. Life lessons all everywhere. I don't even know what I got. Thank you guys. Peace.
Mine said that I gotta try whatever it takes. Not always keep the faith till I die. My dad said humility first. Experience is good no matter how